In her late 40s, Maris had already proven she was a survivor. Life had tested her hard, from losing her mother, going through a painful divorce, to navigating a challenging financial crisis. Maris had faced it all with strength and grit. So when the country's economy took a nosedive, and as the sole provider for her family, she was faced with a decision: find a solution, or let the struggle win. And if you know Maris, you know what she chose. After years of trials, she stood tall, ready for whatever was next. Then came a spark of hope. A major cruise line was hiring casino staff. At the time, Maris was already a floor supervisor back home, but the pay wasn't cutting it. So without fear, she applied as a dealer. And just like that, she got the job. The twist: Maris had never been on a cruise ship before. But she told herself, how hard could it be? After medical exams and vaccinations, her papers came through. She was headed to a ship based out of Boston, Massachusetts. This was it. A new chapter. She landed late on a Friday night, impressed by how organized everything was. By Saturday morning, she was standing before the giant vessel that would be her home for the next 9 months. 17 decks, 1,700 crew members, a floating city, and she was now a part of it. Embarkation day was a whirlwind: HR briefings, paperwork, uniforms, tours. And finally, her cabin, shared with 3 other casino employees. Her new reality had begun. The ship's homeport was Boston, with regular sails to King's Wharf, Bermuda, where the ship spent 3 days before sailing back to Boston. And though everything was new, Maris embraced the challenge. She even became certified as a firefighter. Because on ships, every crew member trains for emergencies. For a girl from a small island, it was overwhelming, but thrilling. After 3 months, the ship changed course. To get there, they sailed on a repositioning cruise, stopping at ports like Bar Harbor in Portland, Maine, USA, St. John's, Corner Brooks, Newfoundland and Labrador, Halifax, Sydney, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and Quebec, all in Canada. After leaving Canada, the ship sailed down to the Eastern Caribbean to these islands: Aruba, Barbados, St. Kitts, Curacao, Tortola and Samama DR, before finally arriving in New Orleans, her new home port, of which is her weekly itinerary of Cozumel, Costa Maya, Belize, Mexico, and Roatan, Honduras. Now, she thought it would be one contract, just enough to get ahead. But days turned to weeks, and weeks into months. And Maris realized, this isn't just work. This is a working vacation. She loved it. Despite missing home, Skype kept her close to her family. She met people from all over the world, many who became lifelong friends. Work was smooth, because once you know casino rules, you can play anywhere. But being a crew member meant more than dealing cards. It meant drills, duties, and discipline. At the end of that contract, she did something bold. She requested a ship in Europe. And guess what? She got it. After a 15-hour flight, she landed in Barcelona, Spain. From there, she explored Palma de Mallorca and Valdemasa. She traversed over to Italy during weekly sailing to Naples, where she also visited Florence, Pisa, Livorno, Rome, Pompeii, Isle of Capri, Sorrento and Civitavecchia. Her second contract was proving to be the best decision yet. After 5 months, another repositioning cruise took her across the Atlantic, with a stop in the Azores, then 7 days at sea until they reached St. Thomas, and finally Miami, Florida. This time, her itinerary included St. Martin, Nassau, and St. Thomas. And in Nassau, she was able to see her family weekly. What a joy! But the travel bug had bitten her again. After a break, she was off again, this time to Venice, Italy. A thunderstorm delayed her flight and rerouted her through Berlin, Germany. Another country checked off her list. From Venice, she explored Santorini, Mykonos, Katakolo, Piraeus, Corfu, and Athens, located in Greece, along with Dubrovnik and Split in Croatia. Then on to Messina, Italy, and Amizar, Turkey. Her third repositioning cruise took her through Koper, Slovenia. Arriving at St. Thomas en route to her home port of Miami, Florida, her weekly itinerary was St. Thomas, St. Martin, and Cozumel. After a successful third contract, Maris had one more dream to chase. there was a fourth itinerary that had captured her heart, and she couldn't shake it. So, she put in the request, and once again it was granted. This time, she joined a ship out of Seattle, Washington, on the west coast of America. This would be her new home port for the next 4 months. And for the little island girl who once sat under a tree, watching planes fly overhead, wondering, how will I ever see the world? That dream was now her reality. Each week, the ship sailed to the breathtaking ports of Juneau, Ketchikan, and Skagway, Alaska, where glaciers met the sky and bald eagles soared above. Then came Victoria, in British Columbia, Canada, with its charming streets and ocean views. After 4 magical months, it was time for another repositioning cruise. The ship left Seattle and stopped in Vancouver. Canada then made its way down the U.S. West Coast to Los Angeles and San Francisco. But the journey didn't stop there. As the ship traveled along the Mexican Riviera, Maris explored stunning ports like Cabo San Lucas, Puerto Vallarta, Huatulco, and Puerto Chiapas. Then came a brief stop in Costa Rica. Though access was limited, she soaked up what she could. But she made up for it in Puerto de Cartagena, Colombia, where vibrant culture and history came alive. The highlight of that repositioning cruise? Crossing the Panama Canal, and standing on deck as she watched one of the world's greatest engineering wonders in action. It was a full-circle moment for Maris. Eventually, the ship reached its final home port, Miami, Florida. Weekly itineraries included West Palm Beach, Grand Cayman, Jamaica, and Great Stirrup Cay in the Bahamas. And though the ports were beautiful, something was missing. Maris was so close to home, yet couldn't see her family. The ache of homesickness became too heavy. So after months at sea, Maris resigned. She told herself, this is it. No more contracts. But as life would have it, 3 years later, fate came knocking again. This time, with unexpected circumstances she couldn't ignore it. Maris was back. This time as a supervisor, on a shorter 6-month contract. Her final adventure began once again in Barcelona, this time with stops in Cannes, Monaco, and Monte Carlo on the French Riviera, also Marseille, and a return to her favorite places in Italy, Naples, Rome, and Livorno. The Repo Grand Finale? A stop at the Tenerife Canary Islands, before re-entry through Puerto Rico, and reaching her home port of Port Canaveral on her weekly itinerary Cozumel, Grand Cayman, and Jamaica. At the end of this contract, she said, that was it. This time for real. Maris hung up her seafarer's hat. From the little island girl sitting under a tree, watching planes fly overhead and dreaming of travel, to the bold, unstoppable woman who sailed across oceans, touched 5 continents, and made memories in ports she once only read about. Maris didn't just live her dream. She dealt it, shuffled it, and made it hers. I called it a working vacation, she says, smiling. But truth is, it changed my life. This is the story of Maris, the island girl who sailed the world.